Hello, welcome to Music Theory Part 5. In today's lesson, we'll depart from tonal harmony to talk about symmetrical scales. Symmetrical scales are based on repeating interval patterns and do not have a key center. There are two symmetrical scales we'll talk about today. They are whole tone and diminished. The whole tone scale is very simple. It is a scale that is comprised of only whole step intervals. For example, the whole tone scale starting on C would be C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, B flat, C. The corresponding chord would be C7 augmented or C7 sharp 5 sharp 11. Notice there are only 6 notes in the whole tone scale, making it a hexatonic scale. Because there is no key center, the scale has a floating and ambiguous quality. The diminished scale is based on a repeating whole step, half step sequence. Because the scale is comprised of 2 intervals, there are 2 formations of the scale. The first begins with a whole step followed by a half step. Because of this, it is referred to as the whole half diminished scale. The scale is as follows: C, D, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, A, B, C. Notice there are 8 notes in the scale, making it an octatonic scale. The corresponding chord is C diminished 7. The second formation of the diminished scale begins with a half step followed by a whole step. This is referred to as the half-whole diminished scale. It is as follows: C, D flat, E flat, E, F sharp, G, A, B flat, C. The corresponding chord is C13 flat 9. Diminished chords have an interesting function in which they act as voice leading resolutions to other chords. For example, B diminished 7 may resolve up a half step to C minor. Because of this, they have a similar function to dominant chords. In fact, a dominant 7 flat 9, such as G7 flat 9, has the upper structure of a B diminished chord. Another interesting function of diminished chords is the diminished major 7 chord resolving to a major 7 chord of the same root. For example, C diminished major 7 can resolve to C major 7. This is a result of approaching the major 7 chord tones, the third and the fifth, from a half step below. There are other functions of the diminished scale and chord, but what has been mentioned so far will suffice in most of the musical situations you will encounter. With symmetrical scales covered, we have only a few more topics remaining before completing the general music theory course. In the next lesson, we'll dive further into dominant chord functions with secondary dominant chords and tritone substitutions. In the meantime, happy practicing!